This on y'all page.
Right. What?
Brenda, you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? This is Real Talk with your boy, Pastor Marty Peters. And I have some special guests tonight. These are my friends, whom I love, whom I trust, and whom I respect. And we from the town, except for one person, but the three of us are from the town. But he act like he from the town. The young man at the bottom of the screen, he act like he from. Hey, y'all. Hey, baby girl. Listen, you all. Like and share. I'm getting ready to introduce my guest. Please like and share. I'm going to try to keep up. Alex is back. Alex been gone. All my kids, they've been gone on vacation. They back. Thank you, Jesus. I don't have to do this by myself. All right. Alex been doing it, but she's been doing it remotely. There's nothing like your engineer, your niece / engineer / who thinks she's my boss. She likes to tell me what to do every week, every Sunday, and all that other stuff. She go right on there. I am. Okay. So you all, I want to introduce my friend. I'm going to introduce ladies first, gentlemen. She is Brenda Grisham. She is an activist. Her son, Christopher Lavelle Jones, was murdered right coming out of his house on the way to watch night 7 years ago, Brenda?
12.
Oh, 12 years ago. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. 12 years ago. All right. And she has been fighting ever since. She's been an advocate with women, mothers whose lives have been snatched away from them due to gun violence in the streets of Oakland and the Bay Area. Brenda Grisham was on with me last week, but she on with me the whole segment this week. Come on and say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. We put this together. And then my district director of the greatest fraternity in the entire world, and a former probation officer for Alameda County, district director for Alameda County probation, and my big brother of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the best. I'm wearing the black and gold. Hey, fly! I'm wearing the black and gold.
That's a mess.
That's what my friends that's on there watching that support the brother. I introduce you to my friend and brother, and that is Brother Ryan McCreary. Brother McCreary, come on and say hello to the Real Talk audience tonight.
Hey, good evening, everyone. God bless you, and late Happy New Year to you.
Yeah. And then the gentleman, that's the three of us from Oakland, but this gentleman is from Los Angeles. He's from Los Angeles.
I'm from Cleveland.
Huh?
Cleveland.
I bet you wasn't scared for Cleveland when the Warriors was winning all them wins, huh?
Yep. I was at game, all the finals games. My homie worked for the NBA.
Okay.
So I got to go to them.
I'm sorry that you had to sit through that humiliation, but we love
you. Game seven was worth it. In Oakland,
yes, sir.
It was all good. We got one of them.
Y'all, this is my friend. This is Seneca Scott. He lives in West Oakland, social activist, owner, business owner, everything. You all, Seneca, come on and say hello to everybody so we get in this show.
Hey, good evening. Peace, everyone. And thanks for having me on, Pastor Peters. And I look forward to the conversation tonight.
All right. Now, let's get right into business. Let's just jump right into it. Why are we here tonight? Put a flyer out about the community speak. And we are speaking tonight. We are mad as hell at what has gone down in the Oakland Police Department. Now, you church people, forgive me tonight, okay? Because I may say a few things tonight, but forgive me. My church will forgive me. They love their pastor. They know their pastor's not perfect, but they know their pastor is compassionate about what he do and who he support, who he love, who he work with. LeRon Armstrong is our friend. He's our brother. He's a churchman. He grew up in the Pleasant Grove Baptist Church, baptized under Dr. R. Lee Hightower. Listen, you all, he's a church man, he's a Christian, he's a married man, he's a father, and he has been doing an awesome job, in my estimation, of being the chief of police of a city that is predominantly African Americans and Latino, or Latino and African Americans. I'm pretty much right about that. I work in the community. I see who rides up and down the streets. It's blacks and Latinos.
That part.
I work in the part of the ghetto, 6800 International. I work in the part of the ghetto. I see what passed by. I see the homelessness. I see all the traffic. I see all of that stuff, you all, in my neighborhood. I'm from Stone City. I'm from 107. East 14th side, not no International. East 14th, before it was International. I'm from the hood. I've gone to schools in the hood. I graduated from Oakland High School. Yes, I'm from here. I graduated from Morris Brown College and then went to Pacific Lutheran Theological Seminary. So I'm not incompetent by any means. I'm not dumb by any means. Sometimes I act dumb, but I ain't dumb. I just had all of you. We got folk on here who've gone to college. We got folk on here who love their cities. You have folk on there who love the man who was wrongfully placed. Yeah, let me say that right. He was wrongfully placed on administrative leave without evidence. He was just placed on administrative leave. He did not have to be placed on administrative leave, but that was what the mayor chose to do. She could have allowed him to stay in his position until this investigation was over. She chose not to. And she has divided the city. She has divided the church community. She has divided us. I don't even know who the acting chief of police is, but he don't need to be in that position long.
Allison.
Because LaRon Armstrong needs to be removed from administrative leave, and he needs to be reinstated back into his position. Listen, let me say this, and then this is where Ryan McCreary is going to come in here because he's retired law enforcement. Listen, you all, doggone it, the doggone city of Oakland and the police department been corrupt. It's been corrupt. The city of Oakland has been corrupt. It has been corrupt. I can't say it enough. It is not going to stop overnight. Every time they get a chief of police in, they don't stay in that position long.
No, they don't.
The white woman, y'all help me with her.
And
Kirkpatrick.
Who was the chief of police? They put on administrative leave, and Oakland Police Department, the mayor did not learn from that.
I thought they just fired her outright.
We have to pay a lawsuit out too. Remember,
$337,000.
How much?
$337,000 in wrongful termination because of that Oakland Police Commission, that situation, which prompted her, former Mayor Libby Schaaf fired her unjustly. Kirkpatrick files a lawsuit. The court finds it in her favor, and they had to give her severance. So it's $337,000 that costed the taxpayers of Oakland for their mishandling of Ann Kirkpatrick. And she just went on an interview last week, I believe, with Channel 2 News, and said that the moderator that's monitoring the Oakland Police Department took a case out her hands. So this is nothing new under the sun. So to me, everybody look at Oakland as a cash cow, and they can get the money from the city government. And they've been on. Yeah, it's This is pimping on a new level. We can call it corporate pimping. We can call it white collar pimping, however you want to do it. But the people getting paid on the back of our taxpayers.
What you call that blue collar pimping or white collar pimping?
White collar
That's
pimping.
more white collar. This one, as your brother Ryan was saying, this is more sophisticated. I want to say something to another point that I don't think has been brought up in the media. I used to be the East Bay director for SEIU 1021. That's a fancy way of saying I used to be the union boss for city workers in Oakland, back when we had the BART strike 10 years ago or so. And I've been a union man my whole life. I directed a lot of unions. That's what I went to Cornell for. And even though I've been out of that hustle for 10 years.
What college?
I know that college from somewhere.
Y'all fraternity which founded there. That's right. Unfortunately, the chapter was not active when I was there. I think they have been very robust since, so that's really good news.
Yes, it has. Yes,
but so to the point I was making, check it right. We got 700 officers for a place that's supposed to have, I think we had a police department graduate today, so we may be at a little more than 700. But we're supposed to have 1,100 officers for a city of our size and our current amount of crime. It takes about 20 minutes for someone to get 911 on the phone. That's because we don't have enough dispatchers and we don't have enough officers to respond to those dispatchers. So what a point, and to tie the point up to the union stuff, anytime I was representing a worker or the union's representing a worker, and you look at, let's say, a nurse, right? And a nurse, California has the only nurse to patient ratio, I think, in the state because of the unions. And let's say you were a nurse, you're supposed to only have 2 patients in ICU, and you got 20 This happens all the time. Then the nurse makes a medical error. Now, if you punish the nurse, somebody got harmed by that medical error, right? You ain't gonna punish the nurse. No progressive would think it's okay to punish the nurse because progressives are pro-union. They would see the obvious logic that the nurse is overworked, the staffing ratio wasn't met, so the person to blame for that harm is actually the hospital for not staffing the nurse appropriately. How come that same logic doesn't apply here and we are 60% staffing? It's obvious, it's demonstrable that we don't have enough police on the street to respond to current crime levels. Anybody who's saying otherwise is gaslighting us. So the point I'm making is and I don't think he did make that mistake because LaRon said he didn't make it. I'm not going to even get into the weeds on that. Even what they're accusing him of isn't tantamount to being able to put him on administrative leave because the staffing levels, he ain't read the whole report. Like, come on, man, they're playing with me. This is politically motivated. I think that they got caught, trying to do too much in their first month. And now we got to see where it goes from here.
And you know what, Seneca, to your point, I'll tell you this. Since LaRon Armstrong came out now, just so that you know what's today. Today's the 4th. Do you know in 4 more days, it'll be 2 years since he's been chief of police for Oakland. He was hired February 8th, 2021. Now, that first year, 135 homicides in the city of Oakland. He wasn't even in the seat for a whole year. So since then, he comes on. The following year, it drops down to 119. That's a good drop. Plus, you got ceasefire. You have all these different operations in here to start, working with our youth, trying to pinpoint hotspots. You have, all these different measure-wise and different other programs out there to help youth get them off the street, get them engaged. There's grants out there, big up to YU, some other EOYDC, other programs out there to help. And he's been in the trenches. Yes, I don't know any police chief who's gotten behind their desk and go out there to the street where a kid got shot at baseball practice or somebody get killed over here, over there. I mean, I can go back to years ago when I was a probation officer in West Oakland. One of my youth, Gaddafi Washington, was murdered. And Marilyn Washington loved her to death. I was that young man's probation officer years ago. And I cried a river to lose that young man. And OPD didn't notify her that Gaddafi passed till 2 or 3 days after he gone.
What?
She heard on the street. And when about time OPD came to her door, they were already making arrangements. And so OPD already has a negative connotation of not doing what they're supposed to do and doing us right in the community. But LaRon Armstrong has turned the corner. He got people working together. He got kids in programs, and he's visible, and he's approachable. I done see him downtown in Oakland walking by. He'll stop and say, hey, I saw him at the Warriors game. I forgot who we went to go see. I saw him right there passing by. We end up talking. So, he's approachable. He's a community guy. People love him. And I think this is all politically driven because nothing, while there's an investigation going on, nothing that he did from his own hand caused him to be on administrative leave. Usually you're on administrative leave when the onus on you, you got blood stain on your hands, you did something to try to manipulate or circumvent a process. The internal affairs guys, whoever that brings him the information, he's only as good as his team. And if his team dropped the ball, then that's not on him. That's on his team. And his team should be dealt with in that manner. If the DA don't choose to file charges, that's not on the chief. That's on the DA's office. Why hold him accountable for all these other mechanisms that have fallen apart? Before
he became chief. And that's why I keep saying that the Oakland Police Department, and I'm going to cut you off, but we got time today, you all, to just piggyback off of all of each other. All of us going to have the mic tonight. All of us got the mic equally. And that is the Oakland Police Department been corrupt. They've been doing stuff like that. it's always somebody that want to sell you out in your own camp.
Exactly.
I've noticed in church, whenever it's a mess in church, and I'm a third generation pastor, and I'm about to let it off the bat. Whenever it's a mess in church, it's always some associate preacher or some deacon or somewhere behind it. That's behind the mess, or it came from the choir somewhere. But it's always somebody.
Why had to come from the choir?
Huh?
Why had to come from the choir?
The devil was the minister of music.
Oh.
He used to be the minister of music. So we know it got to come from the choir because he is the master of discourse.
And that's where gossip usually starts at, in the choir.
But she's a minister.
I'm a minister of music. If
You don't want to
know
hear
about
that
the
right
choir.
now, y'all. See, that's when it said, "Amen."
Amen.
No, but let's go back to what Ryan McCreary is saying. It's been corrupt. So hold on, you all. So you mean to tell me what we've been taught that is because the sergeant got slapped on the wrist, which he should have been deranked. That's what I hear. He should have still been a sergeant. If y'all want to save his job, drop his rank because he is not qualified to lead anybody due to him committing a felony. He shot in the elevator and go take his bullets and go throw them in the Bay Bridge. That is in the report. That is a felony.
It is.
And you slap him on his wrist and put him in therapy?
Well, let me
That's
ask
not
you a
why he was
question.
put in therapy. He was put in therapy because of hitting the bumper. He was put on administrative leave for the bullets. But then the man that we talking about, not Orloff, what's the man name? Warshaw took over the investigation. Laurent put him on administrative leave. But then they took over, so he couldn't do anything else to him.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying.
So, well, let me ask you a question. If that hit and run happened in San Francisco and there was a police report done, why didn't the DA in San Francisco press charges against the sergeant? That ain't got nothing to do with Oakland. Because that's another county.
He didn't file a police report. What he did was, because he was at his own self house with his girlfriend, and when they left, he claimed he didn't know he hit that car.
How do you know so much? You know a whole lot of information.
I know a whole lot.
See,
I need to holler at you offline.
It's part of the choir. The choir be knowing everything.
It's the leader of the choir. So that man was at his own self house, and he did not file a police report. That's where it all started.
But how do you do $15,000 worth of damage to the car and don't know you did any damage?
What was the counseling for? Was he drunk? What did he go to counseling for?
Yeah, what did he go to counseling for? Good question.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, that's how it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. So I got a question for y'all. I want y'all to answer this question. Y'all are Oakland natives. I don't want to assume everyone voted, but did everyone vote in the election?
Uh-huh.
Of course.
I ran for mayor. I'm the only person brought up this NSA on my website. I'm the only person promised to end it. And I'm obviously not campaigning because I got mobbed. I got 6th place out of 10. So, you know, we wasn't anywhere close to winning. But the point I'm making is 18 years of this negotiated settlement agreement. How much money we done paid these people? They pimping out Oakland. Like Brian said, everybody getting money out of here, and our neighborhoods are suffering and starving. So we need to do something about this. What do y'all think about the fact that for 18, 19 years, a generation, money has been spent on this NSA. And I want to add one more thing. We went from, I think, 50 plus, and I'm sure y'all know more than me, 50 plus different data points to get off the NSA down to 1. And it's almost over under just this chief in 2 years. And now he's on admin leave for what? So I want y'all input on that.
With less help. Mind you, there were 900 officers a few years ago. Now he came in, it's down to 700, dipped below 700 for a certain period of time. Then the academy come up. But then when budget starts to hit, the economy, people start leaving out. COVID, people start retiring. Some people may have passed away. So he did more with less and still got the data to show that he's effective. But then you're going to still try to railroad him and try to put them on administrative leave. I mean, they have what they call Peace Officer Bill of Rights.
Okay.
And he has rights under the Peace Officer Bill of Rights. Now, they going to pay him. Now, it doesn't make sense for the city government to be paying a chief of police who's making $200,000-$300,000 a year or something like that while he's at home, while he's vacationing. He can do whatever he want to do because he's on admin leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so as long as he has, unless he has some, you know, some stipulations that he has to stay within the county or whatever, which I don't think that's the case.
It ain't.
He's just getting paid stay at home. So if you're gonna pay somebody,
Put him to
let
work.
your money count for it and go to work.
Exactly. We ain't got no free money.
He said at the last press conference, I'm ready to get back to work. We got a lot of work to do in Oakland.
I think Oakland's just another. I'm telling you, man. I don't know if it's because of the ballpark issue that they feel like there's money in Oakland, that the port, whatever. But they looking at cat. All they see is dollar signs in the town. I mean,
there's
people
a lot of
making money in Oakland for years, but now
You
the
named
white collar
two of
folks
them.
do the same thing.
So look at San Francisco. Look at that Millennium Tower. It's leaning, right? That's the symbol of San Francisco. They falling. We getting all the windfall. So there's a lot of potential. But here's the issue, because of stuff I'm not going to even go into too much, from our eviction moratorium to our high crime to our city council that's ideologues who don't really have any good solutions. People aren't coming here. There's no new business investments here. Actually, people are divesting from Oakland. People are looking to sell their investments, sell their commercial real estate, and leave town. So people do have dollar signs in some respects who are already pot committed, to use a poker term. If you already, deep and got your investment. But a lot of people are leaving, which is going to have some problems because we're in debt in the city, right? So my concern is we lost a young man's life today or last night. A youth was killed. It's a matter of life and death, playing games with the fact that you got a police chief that's connected with the neighborhoods and in meaningful ways. And then you got people who not from Oakland who have been elected making decisions to impact neighborhoods they don't live in. We need to use this moment to be extra aggressive and serious about what we want. And quiet is kept. And it's just, I've been here 9 years, right? 10 years. This is the metaphor for Black America, not just Oakland. This is our last chance in Oakland, and this is our last chance in America to come home, get Black issues to the forefront, get our talent together, put our heads together, put our differences aside, and put a Black agenda forth that's impactful. The fact that we don't have a Black mayor right now is shameful. I don't even get into that. But the point is, we took some lumps, but we got a chance right now to do some really impactful work, get our chief back to work, and beyond that, get Black Oakland united so we can fight for our own interests.
So, one of those things that can that's important is that we have to vote. We all have to vote. I know Black Joy is coming up in Oakland. I believe it's February 26th, I think, is the last Sunday.
Oh, yeah, I'm a board member of Black Joy. My company, Oak Color, does the event production. So I'm all up in there. And I got a chess zone. I play chess. Chess zone at Black Joy Parade. Come holler at me and play some chess.
And so, those who want to vote, find Alpha Phi Alpha table. We're going to have a tent up there. You can register to vote. Our Voteless People is a Hopeless People national campaign. That's one of our premises. We are hopeless people if we don't vote. We got to vote, because if we don't vote, we have these issues that we're dealing with right now. We have a mayor that don't always reflect the values of the city that everybody loves, and even with this ranked choice voting, we ain't even gonna get into that tonight. But even then, that needs to be dealt with too, because
we could get. How long we got?
I think we only got 30 minutes left.
The chief issue is simple. That ain't even a complicated issue. At this point, we commiserated.
So so let me ask y'all this.
Let's reorganize it, right? Like, so we can get to the ranked choice voting. This on the pasture. Let me know. I'm all up in that too. I can tell you all about it.
Okay, so let me ask y'all this: shouldn't it be the job of the mayor of Oakland should be safety? Shouldn't that be like
yes, absolutely
her main concern, public safety?
It should be.
Well, our mayor is a busybody. She into everything. Well, she too visible. She must don't have nothing to do because she everywhere.
Doing nothing.
She's politicking. Everywhere. I mean, she was at the Coliseum the other day, so she's politicking. That's all that
rally. She had everything.
So y'all, you mean to tell me if the mayor's first job is public safety? Mm-hmm. Here is the chief of police that you did not put in office, who was the deputy chief before he was the chief police, is bridging the gap between the trust with the police department and the community. He's building trust between the church and the community in collaboration, all three of us together. Shouldn't that be the main? Crime is going down. Murders are being solved. He's putting people back to work. He's getting more officers. And Ryan, you said that he did that with about 700. No, today's academy made it up to 700. So you are absolutely right. He was doing it with less, and it was working. And there it is again, another black man being targeted and knocked down because he's doing a good job, or because somebody in his cabinet want his seat.
Oops.
Now, hey,
you talking now, Pastor?
Did I put it on the bottom?
I think Pastor Peters was in the choir at one point. So,
he was the drummer. And
I was the drummer.
Drumming it up, right? I hear you.
Yeah.
But I thought that should be what, and then so who's her boss? If Lawrence Armstrong only boss is the mayor, who's the mayor's boss? Wouldn't it be the citizens of Oakland?
Mm-hmm.
So you mean tell me she doesn't have an advisory board that should have told her, no, you're moving too fast. You only been in office for 2 months, and you ain't the real mayor yet because there's still a recount going on. Let's talk about that, church. Your behind ain't even the mayor yet. Has she even been sworn in?
Yeah.
Oh no. She's the mayor.
Yeah, she was sworn in.
The election has been certified. But I want to mention, even though the election has been certified, the election was certified for Nick Resnick, even though the rerun District 4 school board election showed that the black man, Mike Hutchinson, indeed won, and now he has to file a lawsuit and spend his own money to win the lawsuit, to win the election he won, because the wrong person was sworn in. So, like I said, there's a lot I could go. If y'all want, I could condense it to a 2-minute briefing. If you want
to, is that hey, brother McCreary? What y'all say? Brenda, what y'all say? Let's hear
what's going on over there.
Seneca,
I'm gonna go on mute. I'm gonna go on mute on that one.
Hey, that part. Okay, so check it. Let's start at the beginning. I'm not going to talk about the fact that certain people didn't file on time for mayor. I'm not going to talk about the fact that the city clerk's office stamped 6 people's candidate with the same exact timestamp when the timestamp one per person in the office. I'm not going to talk about the fact that they deleted video footage showing that certain people filed late for mayor. I'm not going to talk about the fact that our current mayor had several public ethics charges against her. Let's just get into the actual election itself. We went from 3 to 5 choices for mayor in the ranked choice vote election. This is the 5th mayor election under ranked choice voting, and the first one where we have 5 choices. They went from 3 to 5 choices with no public disclosure and 0 public education. That's the first part. What that led to was the doubling of the number of people who did not use all their vote or people who made mistakes in their votes. And I want to introduce the vocabulary here so everyone can follow along. If you don't use all your votes, that's called undervotes. And if you make a mistake, it's called an overvote, and it's disqualified and thrown into the trash. That number doubled from the last mayoral election to this election.
I heard it was 3,500 this time.
Mostly, I'm just gonna keep it simple because we get into the numbers and all that. I don't want to lose anyone listening. I want to put it into the point where everyone can understand what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Right? So twice the number of people made mistakes in this election as last election, and a ranked choice voting election that's complicated, where you went from a number of choices being 3 to 5 without telling anyone. Now, the people who made mistakes are overwhelmingly in neighborhoods of color. There's an obvious equity issue because if you actually read everything when you vote, it tells you have 5 choices. But obviously, we have an equity issue when we have half the kids who graduate from high school are illiterate, and 1 out of 4 people in the state of California are functionally illiterate, mostly people of color. But let me get back on track. This election was decided by 677 votes. About 3,400 votes were thrown in the trash. 3,093 overvotes, meaning that people made mistakes in how they voted. I'm going to add another thing. The registrar has the discretion to create what's called a duplicate ballot if they see someone made a mistake, but their voter intent, and I'm going to say that again, their voter intent, which is the legal term, is clear. So if I circled it instead of filling it out, you know what I meant. You're supposed to count it. But they didn't count it. They threw it in the trash. So when you have 3,000 something votes in the trash, and an election decided by 677 votes, and the votes thrown in the trash are disproportionately people of color, who chose this election's winner? Was it the voter or the registrar? And who was disenfranchised in choosing this winner? And the fact that so-called progressive don't see the problem with this is alarming to me. I am not going to be silent about it, which is why I'm going into such detail. So here's why the NAACP, with which I am on the political action committee and a sworn officer, and I just been a member for 60 days. Here's why I joined. That organization focuses on voter rights. They have the power and the political strength to force conversation I don't have, just being a little old me. And we have a legitimate concern. We use our right to file for a manual recount so we can look in the trash and say, hey, that voter's intent is clear. Why don't you create a duplicate ballot and fight over every person's vote like we're supposed to? Because you're supposed to count every vote, although Alameda County says when in doubt, throw it out, especially when it comes to Black votes, it seems. So we wanted to do the manual recount, and the NAACP organized to that effect. They wanted to charge us $21,000 a day with no end in sight because anyone who filed for mayor has the right to challenge as many votes as they want. 10 people filed for mayor, we could be there forever. $21,000 a day, that could be millions, right? So we said, we're just going to tell the county to pay for it. We're not paying for it. We did a press conference. We told the county to pay for it. Everybody, well, not everybody. Some people laughed, said that we was some Trumpers. How dare you call elderly Black foundational voters, some of them who were the first Black people to vote, Trumpers? And some of these words came out of Black people's mouths to disparage the NAACP. And think about that for a second. But let me get back on track. It's been more than 2 minutes, but I'm going to keep going. So they lied, but then what happened was they did make a mistake, and they had to overturn an election. Then the Board of Supervisors had to recommend a recount because they know that mistakes were made and voter confidence was lost. So here we are, a month after the Alameda County Board of Supervisors demanded a recount or recommended a recount, and we at a standstill because progressives, again, progressive Democrats, this is a theme here, are holding up the conversation, are acting like there was no wrong done to the community. And these are the same people who act like Chief Armstrong should be administrative leave. These are the same people who say that they support our current mayor, Shintire. And so I'm mentioning this because the two things are related, right? And I'm not trying to disparage Black people to attack them. I want them to debate and defend their action when the majority of Black Oakland is saying we don't support these actions, and they're out here claiming that they represent community. This is manipulative, it's gaslighting, they get money off of this, it's poverty pimping, and I'm gonna end my rant there, but the point is, we don't have a rightful mayor, we have ranked choice voting. Black people need to speak up. Our voices were stolen, our votes were disenfranchised, and we need to not rest until we actually can count every single vote that happened in this mayor election. Thank you for giving me that time so much. I really, really appreciate it. Because I rarely get enough time to tell that whole story because it's a whole lot.
Hey man, this is not a funeral, and this was not 2-minute expressions. Go right ahead. I hear 2-minute expressions every day being a funeral director. Ryan, go ahead and jump in. I see you wanted to.
No, I just want to tell Seneca that was well said, and this ranked choice voting gives me a headache, and I can't see for the life of me, where some analyst says, "Oh, well, it is a good thing when you have to look at the community that you are serving." And see where that falls as it relates to people's understanding of the voting process. And not only that, I'm grateful, and I believe we all should be grateful we're in California that we have, absentee voting. We have different options to vote, because I know in certain states like Georgia, people got to wait in line for hours and hours and hours. And now they putting things out there that you can't bring people water, right. And while they're standing in line to vote, so I think it's really important that the fight is at the ballot box. It's not on the street. The days of trying to scare people out of their homes and stuff like that. Those days are still there, but the real fight is at the ballot box. Because if we don't vote and if we don't have our voices heard, then people walk all over your rights. And people don't seem to understand, because a lot of young people feel like, oh, it don't affect me. Mm-hmm. Yes, it do affect you. It affects you in more ways than one. If you don't have the right person in there, who's going to make it possible for, kids to get free lunch at school? Who's going to make it possible for schools to stay open? Who's going to make it possible for programs for the senior citizens and the elderly? After school programs, public safety. Public safety supposed to be number one, but you're going to let your chief sitting at home collecting salary, which he wants to be at work, but you don't want him there, but he ain't did nothing wrong. And as you said, as the mayor puts it, it's not punitive. Anytime you put somebody on administrative leave, it is punitive. And I'm going to say it right there. You could quote me. Anytime you put somebody on admin leave, it is punitive. And Absolutely. It may not be in writing that is punitive. It may be one of those steps of disciplinary action. But the reality of it is, if there's a pending investigation, and in the investigation, he don't have any say-so on how it's going to turn, then he needs to be working. And that's what he wants to do. I mean, how many chiefs will want to go to work and deal with the bureaucracies and the chaos that Oakland brings with the city government, because he cares about the community and those kids out there on the streets? But you want him sitting at home and let him collect his salary while you're still paying these other monitors that huge contract to say what can and cannot be happening with Oakland PD. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just it behooves me why, people elect folks into office now that they show you who they are. When people show you who they are, you need to believe it. Because at the end of the day, LaRon Armstrong, he's showing you who he is. Believe it. He cares about the community, and he needs to be back at work. Period.
See, Howard Jordan just left and didn't fight back or argue back. But LaRon could just walk away today. He's been an officer for over 33 years. This is his 33rd year being an officer. I think this has been his only job. LaRon can be set and walk away. His wife is still a sergeant, I think, or a lieutenant. He could
deputy chief.
She's
a deputy chief.
She's deputy chief.
They making money. They can walk away. LaRon can walk away and be set for life. He can they got to give him some money. But he can retire right now. He's at the age, he has the years. He can go ahead and retire right now. But that's not what he want to do. He wants to be back at work because deep down inside, he truly loves his city of Oakland, California, and he wants to make a difference. This man wanna go to work.
He is making a difference.
Is making a difference.
And the data supports it. That's the most important thing. We're supposed to be a data-driven society now. That we can't spend money on certain things unless we have data to support what we're trying to do. The data shows homicide rates have dropped. Different violent crimes have dropped. But when they're out there, or if it's hitting a certain population, it's glaring. It's glaring. I get case in point. A few months ago, there was an Asian dentist who was jacked in the broad daylight, carjacked and killed. And no one ever suspected that it was another Asian man who was driving in the car with her, paid somebody else to kill her. And then he went in jail, and guess what? He kills himself. Because he don't want the public scrutiny. And you talk about black on black crime, now it's been Asian on Asian crime. There ain't nobody talking about that at all.
Two mass murders.
We didn't even get to that part. That's this year. That's in the first 35 days of the year. We didn't even get to that part yet. But it goes to show that it really it behooves us. It's really critical that people vote, because now you have a mayor in place theoretically that's making decisions that's impacting our communities, and we're the ones that's going to take the brunt of that hit, because whoever the next chief going to be, if LeBron decides to walk away, or if God forbid they try to fire him, he'll file a lawsuit and he'll probably get paid out. And guess what? You ain't going to find another chief of police that's homegrown, home raised, and care about these kids in the community like Chief Armstrong.
Not at all.
You ain't going to find one.
And all of us are saying this. We didn't rehearse. We came on 5 minutes before we went live. I didn't send no messages to them to ask them, okay, we got to have LeBron back. We genuinely have his back, because we genuinely see with our eyes as Oaklanders and as residents of Oakland to see the work that he's doing and the labor he's doing. It's like Barbara Jean George said, for LeBron, it ain't about the money. He wants to turn his city around. That's been corrupted. He's trying to turn around. That's been corrupted. He's trying to turn different areas in Oakland, North Oakland, West Oakland. I mean, you got Ghost Town and Campbell Village live across the street from each other, and they in a war zone. And they're across the street from each other. LeBron is from that area. He's from right there in West Oakland. You got East Oakland against East Oakland. We live across the street from each other, and we're all with each other. LeBron is trying to turn it around, and he has been successful in less than 2 years of helping to reduce crime, helping to prosecute these homicides, solving homicides. He is holistically going around. He is doing his job. And we are supporting him because we see him putting in the work. That's all.
That is scary out here. He may be doing his job, but overall, public safety is still a huge issue. I want to, because I got a question. Considering the amount, just in a few words that's been said, that Brenda has, can you say a little bit more what's on your mind right now? Because I ain't heard too much from you.
From me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I got a lot to say.
I know you do. I want to hear it.
I've been working with LeBron for years, and he's been helpful in our advocacy work, and I see him in all neighborhoods. He's done a wonderful job, and his main focus, like we all have said, is to turn this city around. He's been doing a very good job. Nobody's going to be able to step in and be him. We get too complacent, always getting put to the back of the line. We always, when a new chief come in, we got to start all over. We are almost done. We got one more piece of the puzzle, and we keep letting these officials speak for us. And it's time for us to speak for ourselves. If we don't speak now, then it's going to keep happening, and we can't keep doing that. No.
I mean, that's like every opportunity. I mean, we were at record numbers when President Barack Obama won. We were at record numbers when President Joe Biden won. But y'all, it's whenever it's a big turnout of African Americans in the polls, it's always something that happens to try to discourage us from voting. You mean to tell me in Georgia, I can't bring, if my mom or my sister, my brother, or my cousin, them in line, I can't bring them a folding chair? My mom almost 80 years old. My daddy almost 90 years old. He'd be 90 in August. You mean tell me I can't bring him some water and I can be arrested and go to jail for that? And it can be a felony? It's always something. 3,500 votes were thrown in the garbage can because of the registrar or because of that. Is somebody pimping some money somewhere to make sure this woman got in office? And it's my page.
Oh, that's what happened. The Democratic Party, all the labor unions. That's what happened.
Whatever the hell I want to say, and I don't care. You don't have to be friendly. You don't have to invite me to preach at church. My calendar stay full all year long, preaching all over the country. You get mad all you want to. I'm from Oakland, and I'm going to speak up for Oakland, and I'm going to speak up for my friend LaRon. I could have had some other people on here tonight that joined us, but they wasn't talking right. And I got the screen who come on my show. I've been doing this for 3 years, and I have a large audience. I've been doing it for 3 years. We on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook live. So come on, let's just be straight. I'm just straight up honest and real. When I joined Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, established in 1906, all I kept hearing in the lectures, you got it. We do the work. We do the work. A voteless people is a hopeless people. We do the work. Go to high school, go to college. We do the work. That's what I was hearing. It still rings in my ear today. All of the 55 lectures that I heard. That's what they're saying. If you want to join this organization, you got to put in the work. And when I tell you Alpha Phi Alpha, stay busy. We can do Alpha Alpha Fraternity can do something every week in the month, all year long, because we be doing the work. And LaRon is doing the work. He ain't Alpha, but he's doing the work. Go ahead.
I would say, shout out to Alpha. Yeah, right. And so I will say this. Today they had the Black College Expo at the Marriott Hotel in Oakland. And it's really beautiful to see students that go out and try to seek higher education. I mean, that's what we strive for, because we know that it makes the playing ground just a little bit more even for us as we go higher and higher in education. Not to say things are even kill, because that's never the case, but we have a more chip in the game the higher we get more education underneath our belts. But let me tell you something. But you mentioned about voting for Obama and Biden. Those are big general elections, but people have to understand, I don't care what election is going on. People got to vote in the midterm elections, because the midterm elections really dictate the flow of money, lines across different counties and voting segments. I mean, I think in California, we lost a Senate seat, or we lost a Congress seat or two because the redistricting. And those votes was not during a major election. It was during the off-year election. So people have to get into the mindset, no matter what is going on, what's being voted on, you gotta vote. Don't wait every 4 years. Oh, now we vote for a president, I'm about to go vote. No. Anytime there's an election, you find yourself at that ballot box or get that absentee ballot together and go on and vote, because we sell ourselves short. But I appreciate this platform and Pastor and both of you for sharing, because people have to understand that I love Oakland. I was born and raised in Oakland. I went to Maxwell Park, grew off High Street. I love Oakland with all my heart. But I tell you what, the people that's in those seats, like Chief LaRon Armstrong, and those are hot seats. He got to deal with a police commission. That is not always fair. That is not always supportive. He got to deal with the mayor. He got to deal with constituents. He got to deal with the clergy. He got to deal with different people. And we all have to provide support for him. We all have to provide support. And this is not the way to support him by putting somebody on admin leave over a pending investigation, not something that they made a finding on, but a pending investigation where she says on the microphone that he didn't do anything wrong, but I'm gonna put him on admin leave anyway. I mean, if he didn't do nothing wrong, why is he on admin leave? It's
and
punitive.
it's not punishment.
And then you say it's not punishment, but you done made it CNN. They had put a tweet out about the police chief being on administrative leave.
Nation.
So it's nationwide. It has an implication. You haven't been mayor. You ain't even got your new rubber stamp mark made yet. And you trying to put a homegrown, right?
It ain't even printed. Cut it out.
No. They still trying to make the rubber print for her to stamp on stuff. You know, you gonna put a police chief that's homegrown, that has shown data that murder rates are dropped and do the work, and it's visible in the community, and you're gonna penalize them for that?
Man,
Oakland should not stand for it. Oakland should not stand for it.
About I could.
Man, I don't want you to get mad, man. I want you to get mad at me, but I'm just saying.
But I had a good
If you don't stand
conversation.
for something, you fall for anything. That's
I had a good conversation with somebody I was inviting to the rally on Tuesday. And so she didn't know anything about this. And when I sent her the flyer, she was like, wait a minute, what they trying to do to the chief? And then her son said, wait a minute, mama, what they trying to do to my uncle chief? And I was like, see, we need them kids out there. So, you know, because he's impacted the children as well. That's his uncle chief. What's going on? I said, you need to bring him. He needs to talk because they need to hear that too.
Yeah. So
man, they don't want to lose their children. They brothers and sisters and siblings to gun violence.
Y'all, hold on. I want to add. Are you guys watching the comments? Are you guys watching the comments? Are you guys?
I know we had comments.
I
didn't even know we had comments.
Oh yeah, there's some comments.
I'm watching a few of them.
Okay,
so we see the comments. Where they at?
They on your right.
No, they not on my right. I'm on my right.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Anyway, while we be discombobulated, I gotta read this comment right here, y'all. Here's a comment right here. Said, Chief has been doing a great job. OPD communication team has done a horrible job representing him, in my opinion. If he gets reinstated, he must shape up his team more. Tighten the team up. What do y'all think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the IAB, the Internal Affairs Bureau, if they're not clear and be transparent on everything they find on anybody they investigate, and if you give him half truth, he can only act on what's given by his internal affairs, because the chief can't get involved in an internal affair investigation of its employees because it's bias, shows bias. So internal affairs is charged with doing a clear investigation and provide all findings to the chief. And if you don't do that, then to me, that's dereliction of duty, and those officers need to be replaced. Or better yet, won't you come up with an agency, take that money that you're giving the monitors, create your own independent agency with some people that do investigation work as background, and don't be attached to the police department, then you ain't got that issue at all. I'm just saying.
I like that. And we're all four individuals. We ain't representing nothing but ourselves. This is our opinion. We ain't trying to get nobody in trouble if somebody can get in trouble. But we're just, this word, the title of the show is The Community Speaks. We live in a community. We are a part of the community. So we speaking on facts. We speaking of feelings. We are speaking of backing the chief. This is our own thoughts that we have come up with. And I ask you all to be out with me tonight so we can just have a talk live. And that's what we doing. Go ahead, Brother Chris.
So I'm looking in the comments. Somebody said she reinstated, they will use DA to try to start mess with the chief. Why don't the new DA investigate the mayor?
Right,
and see what's going on with ethical violation and so forth. She's opening up all these other cases on cases that have been closed out. Why not do that? I'm just saying. I mean, Seneca probably wouldn't mind if the DA says, you know what, let's take a look at
she ain't gonna do that.
Any violation of campaign. You know, what's going on?
Yeah.
She's not gonna do that.
I understand. But what we got to do to do a whistleblower to make them look into it. Because I do know, if you make an anonymous call to the IRS on some churches and stuff like that, it's not like they are not going to investigate it or send somebody in there to do something. What can we do to do a whistleblower to have her relooked at, have her campaign relooked at? Who's overseeing?
Well, there have already been there have already been cases filed. And I can give you more information offline, but right now it just needs to be a political will to act on the information that's already there. There've already been complaints filed. There've probably lawsuits filed. I'm sure we combine it all. What we all four of us know, it's already active. So I think that people should just pay attention politically, show up to these city council meetings, like Ryan said, vote, get your voting rights back if you have papers. There's a process for that. If you're on probation or if you have a record, you get your voting rights back. We need this. There's probably over 1,000 potential voters who get their voting right back in Oakland, right? So we need to focus on voting and getting active and using this moment to galvanize the Black community right now. When someone says the kids are paying attention. I went to we had a neighbor murder, rest in peace, in the Lower Bottoms, and I wanted to talk to all the young men about watching the streets. So when they see somebody, walking, acting crazy and violent, they don't just let them mosey on. Let them know they have a responsibility to check everybody. Even if you're doing whatever you're doing in the corner, you need to keep your community safe. So I wanted to go to talk to them. So I went to the liquor store, talking to one of the young men. They be wearing a little ski mask and stuff now. It's crazy how these kids be wearing ski masks and something. Anyway, he got the ski mask on. Young dude's rolled a blunt. And I'm telling him, hey, man, you got, the elder was murdered. You can't be letting this happen in your neighborhood. He was like, you're right. And then he stopped and was like, I recognize you. You was at a press conference because the Black person should have won mayor and you trying to get the recount so the right person went. This is a young man. Okay?
Wow.
So what that tells me, rolled the ski mask up, shaking my hand, yes, sir, no, sir. They watching. They ain't seen nothing good yet, for the most part, which is why they operating the way they operating. Not that I condemn their action, but they watching. So, our actions do matter and we need to reach out to the youth.
Hey, y'all. I just got a text message. I'm not going to say who it's from. It says, Brother McCreary, listen at this clearly, you law enforcement. Would it be listen at this, Brenda. Would it be, I want y'all to know because I'm reading this on my phone. Would it be a conflict of interest if the chief is the stepdad of the IA's captain's daughter? I'm going to read it one more time and let you think about it, Fred.
What's the IA, the independent, what's that mean? What's the IA?
Internal Affairs. Internal
Okay.
Affairs.
Would it be conflict of interest if the chief is the stepdad of the IA's captain's daughter? And I was like, what? And they said, it is true.
I don't see a conflict as long as he's not impeding on any investigation. Because some people can say it's conflict with him and his wife were both deputy chiefs bidding for the chief spot. So I mean that was no secret. They both applied,
yep.
And LeBron ended up getting a position. And hey, kudos to both of them. They went up the ranks. Ain't nobody skated in the process.
Yeah.
LeBron just happened to be selected to be chief. But somebody could say that because they were husband and wife. But the reality of it is, unlike some other people I know that's been on the top seat OPD, LeBron has integrity.
He does.
I will say that. He is a man of integrity. So I don't see that being an issue because at the end of the day, everybody has to be held accountable for whatever. And internal affairs is independent. And since so many people have issue with internal affairs, then they need to have an outside agency, not the police commission. They need to have an outside contract agency that does investigations. And if they feel like IAB is not on the up and up.
Okay.
You know, and they should be, but they need to be disclosing everything so the chief can make a sound decision.
This is a question for all of us. There are some people, and I'm saying this without trying to mention anybody's name. There are some people who don't care if LaRon gets reinstated or not.
A bunch of people.
There is some black people who don't care if LaRon gets reinstated.
That part. Hold on. Can I ask something?
Go ahead.
There are some black people who claim they represent the community, who don't even be from here, who don't want the chief to be reinstated. In my opinion, speaking for me.
All right. Okay, so let me ask this question. I know, Seneca, I know you got to go. Let me ask this. I know, Ryan, you got to go too. Let me ask y'all this question, and then we're going to end it. Because I want to hear it from all of y'all. Is it the chief's fault if there was a shootout and the police didn't show up, they would call in 911, and 911 didn't answer, and police didn't show up till like 20 minutes late at a shootout in the broad daylight? Is that the chief of police? Is that LaRon Armstrong's fault? Because 911 didn't pick up. I'm sure we are already understaffed by 400 police officers. So if that's 400 police officers, how many understaffed state people are there?
I mean, any crime is the fault of the person who's committing the crime off top. But I would say no, because he doesn't have enough people to respond to it, and we clearly have some staffing issues. And we have a politicization of public safety and a dishonest narrative being perpetuated by a good majority, unfortunately, of our current crop of elected officials.
And also, just so that you know, when people call 911, it don't automatically go to OPD. It routes through Vallejo or Highway Patrol, and then it reroutes back to the local agency. So unless you pick up a landline phone, you can't use your cell phone. It's not getting OPD. Yeah. It's bouncing all around. So it's not the chief's fault, because the chief is not the operator. He's not the dispatcher. He's not the responding police officer. Now, they try to put on him for staffing, but let me tell you something. When it comes to staffing, you got to get people to apply. They have to be qualified, people to apply, people to go through background, and then background can be, if you had a jaywalking ticket at 19, or you did a petty theft and it didn't get closed out or something like that, guess what? You may not qualify. So, or you go through, right. And if you go through training, you have all these weeks of training, and people get burnt out. That's why life expectancy for law enforcement is so short. That's why I'm 52 years old and I'm retired already. And I've been retired about 15 months, because law enforcement officers, our life expectancy shrinks. People working social services be having high caseloads. They be working to their 60s and 70s. But people that work out on the street, they said life expectancy is a lot shorter. So they allow people to retire earlier. So you can just imagine the type of stress that goes along with being a 911 dispatcher and stuff like that. So, but the short answer, no, it ain't his fault. It's not his fault at all.
I was told that it's the chief's fault. I was told that.
You know how they say that who in the end, the person in charge is supposed to be their fault. That's not how that works with everything. The whole police department is short-staffed. Every department in there is short-staffed. Homicide only has 15 officers in homicide.
And how many do we supposed to have?
More than 15. More than 15.
We just short-staffed all the way around when it comes
in every department.
Oakland Police Department, every area, every position. Go ahead. Seneca, you still have to leave, right? You okay?
Yeah, I gotta leave.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you. We'll have you back on another show.
Good to meet y'all. I see y'all out there in the streets on Tuesday.
I'll see you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.
Yep. Okay. Peace.
Thank you. You can sign off. Go ahead, Brother McCreary.
But I will tell you this, when you have entities like the police commission and they be in the news, and then with the whole Kirkpatrick thing that happened a couple of years ago about them not getting one of the commissioners didn't get reimbursed for a tow or something that happened.
Right.
So when you have that type of drama going on in conjunction with, the mayor dibbling dabbling, and if you look at the history of police chiefs in Oakland, aside from Chief Samuels and Chief Word, no one has been in position longer than 3 years.
True.
They have rotated chiefs in and out. You had city managers. You had Wayne Tucker, who was former sheriff for Alameda County, who took over. So, and he took over for a while for OPD. So when you look at historically, the track record is not great. It is not because people can't do the job, but you're not getting the support system for people to do their job.
Yeah.
Which means, the mayor has to step back. The commission needs to let the police chief get some time and some benchmarks to meet to make sure they're staying on task. As long as you're making progress, you're not taking no backward steps. And you know how we feel about backward steps. We don't take them. So as long as you're moving forward and the data is reflecting that you're making a difference, then let him do what he do.
Yeah. I think that may be a good place to end that right there. I think that may be a good place. Brother McCreary, thank you so much for being on with us tonight. We appreciate you so much for your probation expertise, your law enforcement expertise, and the fact that you are Oaklander. We appreciate you so much. I know you got to go. You can sign off too. I thank you. I'll hit you later on. I'll hit you tomorrow at the church. Thank you, Brother McCreary. I know you said 30 minutes ago you only had 30.
And he's still on here.
Oh, no. I'm good. I was talking about Seneca. Oh, no, man. Look, I'm retired, brother. I ain't got to get up and go to work in the morning. I'm straight.
Stay on with us. Brenda, let's talk about Tuesday. And we're going to end it on that.
Today. We want the community to come out Tuesday and speak. We have so many people that are saying that they're speaking for us. Well, you ain't talked to us. So how you speaking for me? And I own businesses in this city. I'm from here. So what decision are you making that I'm agreeing with? You're not making none. So in order for us to, get our place in this city, we need to speak for ourselves. And we've long since have let everybody else speak for us and do what they want to do when we don't vote. So we don't have a voice. So we need to do all that in 2020. We got to do all that. So Tuesday, we're going to be on the steps in front of OPD at 11 o'clock. We, like I said, my mama said you could get more flies with honey. We're going to get on out there and ask them, whoever it be, because it could be more than the mayor that can reinstate him. So whoever it is, we need that done. We need it done right now. It's been too long. One day is one day too long.
We're going to put the flyer while we talk. Listen, we need you to come out Tuesday. Listen, we only want to be out for 30 minutes. 30. From 11 a.m. to 11:30. So at least let your boss let you at least take a break. Come on, walk downtown, come downstairs or whatever. I'm sure we'll be able to park like we parked at the last press conference. But we parked any kind of way and nobody got a ticket. Nobody was injured. No cars or no incidents or anything like that. But we want you. Me and Brenda ain't trying. People know us. We're not trying to make a name for ourselves. We're doing this in support of LaRon.
Mm-hmm.
God has blessed us to be a blessing to someone else. It ain't about what Marty Peter's doing. It ain't about what Brenda Grisham is doing. It's about what we're trying to do from one individual, come on one accord to stand up and speak for him. He really can't speak for himself. But I found out that tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Acts 4 Gospel Church, LaRon Armstrong and his lawyers will be at Acts 4 Gospel Church at 1 p.m. tomorrow to answer questions. This is what was emailed. This is what was emailed to me.
Did you send the flyer to Pastor Bob for Tuesday?
I think I did. Let me double check. Says tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I'll be doing some interviews with the press at Acts 4 Gospel Church regarding my request to be reinstated. My attorneys have now reviewed all of their reports, and we will contend that there's no reason why I am still out. This was a text that Chief, y'all may call him something else, he's my chief, Chief LaRon Armstrong, have sent out. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, he will be doing some interviews with the press at Acts 4 Gospel Church on 66 in between International and San Leandro Street. All right. So he will be there on tomorrow at 1 o'clock at Acts 4 Gospel. Y'all need to show up. All right. I can't be there. My service starts at 12 noon, and I don't do hour services.
No, you don't.
Now, if it started at 2 o'clock, it's a possibility I could have got there. But remember, I was in the bed. I've been in the bed sick for 7 days with vertigo, and I'm going to church tomorrow.
You'll make up for them 7 days, huh?
Victory, y'all stayed home last Sunday, and y'all better not be at home tomorrow. I'm feeling much better. The medication is working. So y'all need to be in church. It's the first Sunday. We got to do Holy Communion. Victory Baptist Church of Oakland, California. I am talking to you all. I love you all, but I want to see you in the building tomorrow because I will be there. Whether I got to sit down in a folding chair or lay down on a couch and preach, that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. All right? And I want to see y'all, your face in the place. Go ahead, put the flyer up. Here's the flyer right here. On Tuesday, here it is right here. The community speaks. All business owners, preachers, community leaders, and members. We, the community, must continue to speak. Join us for a press conference Tuesday, February 7, 2023, 11 a.m. Brenda, you should have put sharp on there because we're not waiting on anybody.
Well, I done told her. We gonna be there. You need to be there by
hard time getting on time. Alpha
10:45.
McCreary Incorporated taught me you got to be on time because if what is our slogan, Brother McCreary? If you're on
to be
time,
early is to be on time.
Yeah, to be early is to be on time. All right. And we will be this time. We're not going to City Hall. We're not going to 1225 Fallon Street. We are going to the Oakland Police Department downtown on Broadway. If you got any questions, Brenda's number and my number is right there. Again, we ain't trying to make no name for ourselves. We're trying to get that man in that cheap uniform back in office. That's what we're trying to do. Get him reinstated. All right. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all for joining with us tonight. Brother McCreary, do you have any final words? Brenda, y'all have any final words?
See you Tuesday.
Register and vote. Register and vote.
Where will Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity of Voteless People is a Hopeless People be on February 26th at the Joy Parade? Where Joy?
At the Joy Parade, downtown Oakland. I don't know where our booth is designated because I haven't seen the map yet. But we always have voter registration. So please come out, stop by the table. If you're not registered or if you have moved or if you want to change voting affiliation, you need to complete a voter registration card. And anytime there's an election, I don't care what's going on, let your voice be heard. You either have to be part of the solution. If you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem.
All right. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Listen, if you want to know what we're talking about, I'll tell you. Join in again at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and this will be re-aired. Thank y'all. Have a good night. God bless y'all.
All right. Bye.